The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised. To you. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. Welcome to Liberated Sisters. Today our topic, birthing gods. We're streaming right here at MorrisMediaLive.com, also my Facebook page, and we're broadcasting live from Morris Media Studios in the Great Leimert Park area. I want to say I'm so excited. We have wife, mother, and author, Sister Fudia Muhammad, who is going to be talking to us about her book, Children of the Most High, Giving Birth to a God and the Science of Child Rearing. Also, we're going to have Brother Jesse Muhammad with the Farrakhan Factor. And for the Justice Report, stay tuned. In today's Justice Report, the Final Call newspaper cover story. Look at that. Islam dignifies. Islam, an invitation to all humanity. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and a delegation of 17 made a special visit to Mecca. Minister Farrakhan and the delegation embarked on their historic pilgrimage during Ramadan to the Islamic holiest of cities. That is the Justice Report, and the reason I pulled that story solely for the Justice Report is because many of you may know and many do not, but we're going to talk about it with Brother Jesse and the Farrakhan Factor. I want to mention it right here that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and members in the Nation of Islam and blacks who are Muslims in America, but particularly the Nation of Islam, we are always charged with not being true Muslims, not being of the faith. And so this if nothing else, that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his teacher and father, has taught and has been teaching us. If this isn't enough for you, then I don't know what will do it. But let's bring in Brother Jesse Muhammad right now for the Farrakhan Factor.
I was told to deliver this message. You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll fight you.
For my brothers, we can go to war. Fight for my father.
Jesse, you might need to stay right where you are and let this play. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Jesse.
Wa alaikum salam.
Man, how are you?
I am wonderful. Praise be to Allah. I was like, man, just run it.
Oh, my God. Just run it. I know, right? We're going to just have to do that one day. But, Brother Jesse, thank you so much. As I was getting ready for the Justice Report, you know, there are so many stories in the Final Call, so many stories in the world, and many of them captured by our newspaper under the helm of our editor-in-chief, Brother Richard Muhammad, right?
Absolutely.
But I got to tell you, I just had to flatline it right there at the story of the delegation with the minister in Mecca. I mean, the cover is stunning. And we know what that represents. But Brother Jesse, take it. And I don't know if you got to hear, but I was saying that I selected it for the Justice Report because of all the harassment and all of the charges and false charges about the Nation of Islam and the members and the minister not being true Muslims. Just go ahead, take it away, Brother Jesse.
Absolutely. All praise due to Allah that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the entire beautiful delegation that accompanied him for this blessed and historic Umrah to Mecca have safely returned back to the United States. And I was blessed to talk with our beloved minister. I received a very spirited phone call from him on yesterday. And I have to tell everybody, Allahu Akbar indeed. He was in such a joyous spirit, and his energy was so electric. It's always contagious. But I continuously heard the voice of happiness and joy and reflection as he was so happy for not only himself, but just really happy for the entire delegation. And so this cover story by our beloved Sister Nisa Islam Muhammad is very important because it documents further this journey that they took. But the blessing of it, too, is also, for those that are registered members of the Nation of Islam, there's a portion in our Supreme Wisdom lesson, Sister Charlene,
come on,
that talks about that we would have to do a certain thing to receive a free transportation to the holy city Mecca to see Brother Muhammad.
Right.
And it is so beautiful that with this modern equipment, as we've taught that is called in our lessons, that we was those who were not able to physically join this delegation. We was given free transportation via Facebook.
Come on.
Free transportation via Instagram.
Whoa.
Free transportation via WhatsApp. Free transportation via Twitter to be a part of this historic journey. So we thank Allah for this modern technology that they were able to share this experience. And so to read the testimonies of the delegation members in this edition of the Final Call, it put me in tears. Because the depth of the reflection that they have exhibited and shared with us and the impact that it has had on them, think about now the impact that it will have on us as a community of believers, as an impact on our people, and an impact of those of us who are striving to be servants. And lastly, I'll say this. The minister, among the many things that I was blessed for him to share of aspects of the trip, he shared with me, Sister Charlene, that he visited and others visited the site of the Battle of Uhud that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the Muslims engaged in. And that was the actual battle, for those that don't know, when the Prophet put archers, those with the bow and arrows, on top of a certain hill and told them to stay there and hold their position and hold their post. However, they were disobedient to the instructions, and they started going after the spoils of war when the Muslims were winning. And because they were disobedient to instructions, they left the backside open, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, was actually injured and wounded during that war. So he shared with me a few words that he shared at the amount about the importance of our obedience to Muhammad, and the importance of our obedience to the instructions of God, that if we do not obey and follow instructions in this time, it could lead to something very, very severe and even a untimely death in our own lives just by not being obedient to specific instructions by a person that is guided by God. So I just thank the minister over and over again. I was just so happy. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for all of our fellow believers. They all got bestowed new holy names.
Oh, my God, yes.
I said, wow, this is so magnificent and historic, as Sister Nisa wrote, because I've never known of the minister to go on a trip and give the entire delegation new names.
The entire, right?
The entire delegation. So congratulations to them, and just thanks be to Allah. So we ask everybody, please, go and get, and not just this week, but every week, but please get this special edition of the Final Call.
Yes.
Read how the minister was received in the holy city of Mecca, in Medina, and Jeddah. Read how the delegation was treated. And go on Facebook and see the pages of Imam Sultan Rahman and Brother Talib, formerly Brother Jason, and go and look at the live videos and see how the Muslim world has received the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the delegation who are going and representing Master Father Muhammad, who was born in the holy city of Mecca, and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who raised up Islam here in America and made us loved around the world.
Yes.
And they both have went around the world and made friends for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. So those of us who in 2019 still have the foolish mind to say from your lips or from your tweets that we are not real Muslims, we just tell you that the scripture says it like this: soon they will shut their mouths at him. And I think that time is coming up where you just need to be quiet and study and open your eyes and see what God is doing with this beautiful, beautiful man right in our midst.
Right in our midst. Yes.
I am so happy.
It's a great day and a reason to be happy. You know, as he says, Islam an invitation to all humanity, and to see our student National MGT GCC Captain Naima, formerly Sandy Muhammad, and Sister Amina, formerly Sister Kim, and their beauty just even more radiant. You know, it's like a light on the believers of the pictures. I'm just drawn to the pictures, but to see how they were received and to hear the brothers talk about the impact just of their presence, just of their MGT uniforms. It's just like, where's mine? Put it on. You know, but Brother Jesse, thank you. Oh God, thank you. I wanted to run through some of the names, but I won't. I think viewers, look, you go as Brother Jesse invited you to do. Read the paper. The cover alone speaks volumes. And Brother Jesse, thank you so much for sharing with us words from our beloved minister, and also for talking about what the impact meant for him and just bringing that up. And thank you for the Farrakhan factor. And yeah, that's why it was the Justice Report. That's exactly why. We will be the winner. As Minister Farrakhan says, whether he's alive or dead, he's won.
That's right. Absolutely. All praise due to Allah. Thank you as always. And may Allah continue to bless us all during this time period.
Praise be to Allah. And brother, thank you so much too, because with your groundbreaking award-winning blog, Sister Fudia, our next guest, who has been a feature writer for your blog, is getting ready to come up and talk about her book. So we're going to hear, everyone, from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, an excerpt of his lecture, How to Give Birth to a God, which you can purchase at store.finalcall.com. And then we're going to talk to Sister Fudia about that. You know, Brother Jesse, we're focusing on the role of father, the role of the black man in child rearing, how we're giving birth to gods. Yes, they come through the womb of the woman, but it's the parents together. And what is the role of the black man?
Man, beautiful. I am so excited about this interview. I'm about to listen, and I tell everybody, hurry real quick to get a copy of this sister's book.
Yeah.
It is life-changing, and I have personally given out several copies in the Kings Road apartments here in Houston, where we do traffic out to some of the young sisters that are mothers, and many of them have told us that it has been life-changing for them in the rearing of their children. So this is very important.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And by the way, she's so adorable. Sister Fudia is so gracious. She's giving away 2 books through Liberated Sisters. And so you can get 2 copies today. Spread the word. You got to answer the questions right. Oh, and for those who received, who did answer correctly regarding our last book giveaway for the Twitter book, got company, they're coming, okay? Thank you, Brother Jesse, so much.
Thank you, beloved.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
All right, everyone, we're going to hear now from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as we get ready and make way for Sister Fudia Muhammad. Here's Minister Farrakhan, an excerpt, How to Give Birth to a God.
You have the capacity to bring giants on this earth. Bringing a giant on the earth is not an accident. You have the capacity, woman, to birth a God on the scene. What did you say, Farrakhan? I'm going to talk about this now for the next half hour. If you get tired, get sleepy, I can't help that. I could say, come back Wednesday and I'll finish it, but I wouldn't finish it on Wednesday. I wouldn't finish it on Friday. This subject can go on for a while. All I'm going to do today is give you the rudiments of it, just to show you, by the grace of God, what Allah is putting in your brother's head from the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you can take it or let it alone. You may say he's with God and God is with him, or you may say he's a phony. I don't care what you say, but listen to what I'm saying and you weigh it for yourself. I'm not making up no teaching. I'm just delving into what has been given to me and you from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now look, you've heard the old maxim that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. How many of you have heard that saying? Have you heard it? The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. What's wrong with the world today? The thing that's wrong with the world, no strong men in it. Yes, sister, I want you to listen. Because if there are no strong men in the world, that says something about the condition of the woman. Yes, sir. It's all tied together here. Yes, sir. There's no giant thinkers among us. There's no hardly any courageous men who are willing to stand up against the odds and deliver the people from the oppressor. Cowardly, faggot-type men. Listen good now. Listen good. I meet them every day. Faggot-type men. Which is a disservice to a woman. To say that a man acts like a woman is a disservice to a woman. You ain't never seen a real woman. I'm going to acquaint you with some today. Even if they're imaginary. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. I want you to bear with me. Yes, sir. Men that have no courage won't stand up when the going gets tough. They back down, weaken. That's all right, sister, then you listen to it. Don't talk to nobody else in here but to me. That's all right. I say you listen to me. Thank you. I ain't gonna have no disruption in here. And you see another side of me that you won't like. And you leave anybody alone in here that's bearing me witness. You want to be quiet, then you shut up. But if somebody else want to bear witness, don't you tell them to be quiet. You say, well, I'm trying to hear, then if you can't hear, move. Everybody don't express themselves the way you would like. There's some people that want to say amen. What the hell right is it of you to tell them to be quiet? Good teaching. Hell yeah, it's a good teaching. But I advise you don't upset me today. Just don't upset me today. You'll be in serious trouble with more than me. So am I. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. The reason that there are not strong men in the world to take charge of the destiny is because the woman has been so weakened and destroyed. She does not know how to produce a strong man. It is not that you don't have the potential, the capacity, but you don't have the knowledge. And because you don't know how to do what what you're born into the world to do, you miss your task. And the children are born into the world out of lust and passion with no thought and planning. The force to change the reality of the way we live is correct knowledge deposited in the right place. Carefully planning, rightly choosing, plus the continued application of desire and effort and will, a woman can produce mental giants. You can produce gods. The woman may not do it herself in terms of the manifestation of such power, but the woman is the womb through which that power comes. And that is why to abuse a woman is to abuse the womb of God. You, brother, don't have her function. If the world is in need of great men, honorable men, men of vision and right action, then it is women that are going to have to produce that kind of man. So women today whom God is going to bless, these women lay down and they dream of becoming the mothers of great men like that. How many of you sisters have ever dreamed, listen now, of producing someone into the world that would make a difference? How many of you have ever dreamed of that? Raise your hand high. Don't hold it down. Raise them up high. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Now those who never had that dream, think about that. Think about that now. Here you are producing age with an egg that can be fertilized, but your mind has never even conceived the thought of producing a child that will change the direction of your own people. Then what baby will you produce? It's an accident going someplace to happen. Why don't you think like that? Precisely because you've never been taught or trained as to the magnificence of who you are. Farrakhan, I notice when you teach, you seem to favor women. It's because I was made wise from the cradle by my mother. Somebody was going to have to come along to free the woman. Somebody was going to have to come along to put the woman in the right state and frame of mind, give her the right frame of reference from which she could draw power to make a change. That person was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but I was so in tune with my father that if 75% of his work is with the woman, why should I not lean in the direction which is the heaviest part of his work if I am his student and his helper? I want you to listen now. Jesus, are you all right? Jesus in the scriptures, not in the scriptures, but the scholars who write of Jesus, they call him the desire of women. That's one of Jesus' names. Now it has many meanings. But the scholars say Jesus being the desire of women means that women who were in the nation of oppressed Jews wanted to produce the deliverer. And each woman wanted or desired to be the womb that God.
Oh my God. I don't know what happened, but I will post that, and we got to see what is the last statement from the minister. Now I have a cliffhanger. I apologize, you guys, but we are working with technology. I had to play that before we bring on our beautiful sister, because part of what she is doing is just what the minister is saying. Sister Fudia Muhammad, and we'll have her here on video soon, but Sister Fudia is a member of Muhammad Mosque number 64 in Austin, Texas. She's married to student minister Robert L. Muhammad, and they have been blessed with 4 children. So she holds a master's degree in education. She's a writer, she's an educator, and an advocate, as we can clearly see, and we're about to let you know, for God-centered child rearing. Her website is givebirthtoaGod.com. Let's welcome Sister Fudia Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, ma'am. How are you, Sister Charlene?
Good. How are you? Beautiful.
All praises due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Thank you
Always.
so much, beloved, for the honor of being on your wonderful program, Liberated.
Are you kidding me? All praises due to Allah. Thanks for accepting the invitation. It's your show, you know. This platform is really designed to showcase here what we do and what we have received, right, from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad under the guidance and teaching and love and care and nurturing and education of Minister Farrakhan. And so we cannot keep it to ourselves. We have to give it. We have to spread it. And how can we do it rapidly? How can we do it more? And how can we reach more people right down to the modern time? So I'm glad you're here. And Sister Fudia, you know, I want to start by saying to the brothers, you know, I asked her to come on because in her work, she has written about the male role in the rearing of children, parents, and the brother's role in the delivery room, and on, many, many things in the aspect of child rearing. But I wanted her to come and talk about that, because as we hear the minister talk about the heaviest part of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's work, right, which is the woman and giving birth to a God, you know, he talks about the protection and a righteous man and how that plays a part. So Sister Fudia, thank you again for coming, and let's start right there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All praises due to Allah. Thank you again, Sister Charlene. And that was just, I mean, what a way to introduce this subject by hearing from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in that 5-part lecture series, How to Give Birth to a God. And I'm just so grateful that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was inspired by God. He said he studied that subject for 15 years before first delivering the first lecture. And so that's a subject that has been in him for a long time. And when you hear him speak, you see the passion that he has for a subject like that. But there's no denying the role of the woman. We know that 75% of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's work is with the woman. And we know if we're talking about giving birth to gods, of course, the role of the woman is significant. But what I've found, and I'm on a book tour right now, is so often that, you know, we have more sisters, of course, than we have brothers present, and brothers will come over and they purchase the book and they say, I'm buying this for my wife.
That's right.
This is wonderful. I'm not complaining at all, but they don't see so much their role.
Yeah.
How to give birth to a God. And you know, the Honorable Minister, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I should say, teaches us that a nation can rise no higher than its woman. But the minister also said, he said a nation can't rise at all without the man.
That's right. We're going nowhere.
That's right. We have to have strong brothers who want to also produce gods. And so the very first chapter of the book is preparation before conception. Because before we can even think about giving birth to a God, both the man and the woman have to have that desire present first. And so he has to want to produce a child that is going to be heavily inclined to righteousness and wants to serve God and wants to reflect God going forward.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're right. I'm laughing when you said they get the book, like, I'm going to give this to my wife. I remember student minister Dr. Ava Muhammad said a brother had asked her, walked up to her and said, in so many words, you need to talk to my wife, or what can you do to help my wife? 75% of the work is not with, but of, or she's supposed to be doing 75% of the work.
That's right.
But really, it's about that care. Like student minister Dr. Ava said once, I heard in a lecture, you set up the universe and then you bring in the jewel, right? So go ahead, Sister Fudia. And thank you for making books available, which we'll tell people how they can get those later. But how did you get into streamlining your focus into writing about child rearing?
Yes, ma'am. This journey for me really started with that lecture you just played, How to Give Birth to a God.
Wow.
As a believer, I came into blessed to come into the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad at a very young age, at the age of 19. And I first heard the How to Give Birth to a God lecture series in the mid-90s. That's when I first heard it.
Wow.
Almost instant. I mean, I was so moved by the fact that we as sisters had the ability to assist God, to cooperate with God, and to be a co-creator with God, and to actually produce the type of child we desired with God's help.
Wow.
And we had that ability just blew my mind. And ever since then, I have been on just a quest to learn more about child rearing. This is before I was even in courtship, and to learn more about that aspect of giving birth to a God. And then beyond that, child rearing.
Yeah.
And so, it's been in me. And I actually did write a book many years ago, almost 20 years ago, but I didn't really seriously pursue publishing. And then, life kind of happens, and, and I'm so grateful that it worked out the way it worked out. But recently, that fire it never left me. It never left me. And the sisters in Austin know this, but on a scale where people outside of our city knew about it, it came about with Brother Jesse's blog. Really wanted to write and get it out there, and I needed help doing that. And Brother Jesse was so generous. He said, "Sister, whenever you're ready, I'm available." So for the past 2 years, I've been writing weekly articles, almost every single week. We missed a few, but we're approaching 100 articles. We're back at 9. And I've been writing articles on just various aspects of child rearing. And so that has been such a blessing. And from that, I said, I need to rewrite this book. Yeah. I rewrote it, and I implemented a lot of those articles that I was blessed to do on Jesse's blog. So I'm very grateful to Brother Jesse out of Houston.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Brother Jesse. And congratulations, sister. You're approaching 100 articles. I want to share.
Yes, ma'am.
That is a lot. That is a great thing. And it's helping. We need this, as we see with our sister Malia, which, you wrote about her in one of your blogs. And not just her, the baby that was killed, the remains found in, was it Florida, I think? Correct me, please, if I'm wrong. But also another couple of children abused in the very immediate aftermath by mothers' boyfriends. And even before that, before these three, we know that is a thing, the molestation of children. But I want to say, as we get more into some of your writing, Sister Shauna Joy, I have to tell you, we have her, beautiful Sister Shauna Joy, gives you the greetings. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Shauna Joy says, "Thank you, Sister Fudia, for teaching and training my sister and mentor, Sister Shree Muhammad." Is it Shree? Shree
yes,
Muhammad,
ma'am.
So that she was able to teach and train me as well. She loves you.
All praises due to Allah. Please,
says,
Sister Shauna, if she's tuning in right now, Walaikum Salam. She's out of Texas, sister. And Sister Cherie, I was her processing class instructor.
Yes.
And became Sister Shauna's MGT captain. So
yes.
Thank you so much. And all praises to Allah. That's all I can say.
She says, "Hey, where did it go?" Okay, hold on. I want to give you the rest of it. See, what I learned how to do is screenshot these messages for you all now. She says, I love you both for your knowledge, wisdom, and obedience to Allah and the teachings. That's Shauna Joy's message to you and Sister
All
Cherie.
praises due
Assalamu
to
alaikum,
Allah.
Sister Shauna Joy. Thank you
Thank you,
so
beloved. All praises due to Allah. Thank
so
you.
much. So as we know, the world is getting ready to embark on the day that it sets aside,
Yes.
this Western society sets aside to honor fathers. What
Yes,
I would
ma'am.
like for you to do, when we think about fathers, is talk about the important role that they have, that you have written about, sister, in these gods coming to birth.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it's several, so we'll just touch on a couple of things. But first, let me just say that from beginning to end, there are 6 sections in this book, and it starts preparation before conception, pregnancy, labor and delivery, breastfeeding, rearing the child of God, and child spacing. And there really is not one aspect that doesn't pertain to our brothers. But I did focus a few articles specific to the role of brothers. For example, when we talk about the influence that the brother has during pregnancy,
Right.
the minister mentions in How to Give Birth to a God that the brother has to make sure that the environment that sister is in is conducive to giving birth to a God. So the sister is going to respond based on how she feels about the man. And the minister said the sister is so powerful. Remember, she's God's assistant, that from the womb, she can produce a child that loves you as the man or that hates you based on how she feels and how she is treated by that man in her life. So it's very important that the brother takes good care of the sister and make sure that he can provide an environment where she is not stressed and she is not worried and she can just focus on doing God's work. And so one of the things he mentioned, for example, he said that the sisters, they shouldn't go to the movies when they're pregnant. What are we going to see that's conducive to giving birth to a God? We're going to see lying and killing and cursing and scheming on the screen, not to mention it's magnified. The reason we go to the movies is because we want the experience of the movie. So we take all of that in, but the child cannot distinguish between, well, this head that just got chopped off is not real. That's not real blood. No, the child is going to take in everything that the mother is experiencing at that moment, and it's intensified because it's in a large screen and a booming acoustics, all of that. Well, the sister said that if she can't go, brother, then you can't go either. And so he said that the man should stay with the woman because she will be quick to be resentful and feel like she's in this work by herself.
It can get lonely.
Encouraging her and making sure she's not in those types of environments. Same thing he said with going to funerals. Even if it's a loved one, he said, let your wife know that she should not go because we shouldn't be around death when we're trying to produce life.
Right.
Very important to make sure that his wife is in the right type of environment to give birth to a God.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Fudia. You have to pardon me. I chuckled a little bit because you mentioned something that I said, yeah, you're right. It gets very lonely. That insomnia,
yes, ma'am.
That insomnia hit me both times, and it was me, Frasier, and cereal. I want to share, but you're right. Yeah. And it has an impact. It does. Sister Donna Muhammad out of Memphis. Hey, Sister Donna. She says, your book is for everyone. I am so very serious about this. She said, I am not in childbearing stages, but I immediately got the value of this book. Now I must get my daughter a copy. All praises due to Allah for
all praises due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. If I could, I try to stress that, sister, everywhere I go, because the idea is that we want our children to do it better than we did it. You understand? Right. And so if you're past childbearing years, but you have children, grandchildren, you have nieces, you have nephews, you have people you can share this information with. Because this is a war, so to speak, that we have to fight on many fronts. So yes, we need to get better schools and we need to have programs and policies and legislation. But if we don't get to our young people and we don't start producing something different, then 20 years from now, 40 years from now, 60 years from now, we're going to look up and we're going to be in the same condition. So at some point, we got to get to our young people and teach them the science of child rearing and what the minister has shared and how to give birth to a God so they can do it much better than we could ever do it.
That's right. That's right. Robert, hey, your husband, assalamu alaikum, Brother Robert. He says, teach. I'm going to do it like he says, teach.
Yes.
The man should be with his woman and the life that she's producing for him. I mean, and thank you everyone for tuning in. They're liking, loving, but they're signing on even as we speak.
Yes,
talk about the delivery room. There was a time when men were not even allowed in.
That's right. That's right. Yes, ma'am. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that our way is actually that the man should be the one to receive, or as they say, catch the baby.
He should
be the one to deliver the baby. So his role is bigger than rubbing her shoulders and saying, come on, baby, you can do it, and breathe and all of that. Yes, he has to do that and comfort her, and he has to advocate for her and be watching. But particularly if you are doing a hospital delivery, and I'm one who advocates birthing centers, home birth, doulas, midwives, all of that. But if you have to do a hospital delivery, even there, the midwife, if in your state she can deliver in the hospital, she can teach and train the brother how to receive the baby.
Yes.
Remember, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that anytime we're in a period of transition, it's a dangerous time.
Yes.
About that baby who's in the womb, the baby's actually like an amphibian in an amphibian state. It has to transition to now a state of breathing on its own. So we know about the pain and the trauma sometimes that mothers endure going through death's door to give birth. But the baby is also experiencing pain and trauma and transitioning, which is a very dangerous period.
That's right.
Baby, we know the baby knows the mother instinctively, but now they're saying by 32 weeks, the baby can even identify the voice of the father if the father is talking to the baby on a regular basis. So now when that baby is coming forth, it should be the hands and the energy of the father that the baby already knows instinctively that are the first and only hands to touch the baby before the man puts the baby on the mother's chest and that baby receives that skin to skin contact. So when we're passing the baby from nurse to nurse and doctor to doctor before it has a moment to bond and to transition smoothly and peacefully, then we're putting in foreign energy, and that could cause extra and additional trauma to the baby in transition.
That's right, Sister Fudi. And another thing, and we're going to bring it right up to today's current society, it's so important because there are actual wars going on in delivery rooms in hospitals and clinics for children. When we talk about vaccinations, I mean, go ahead.
No, yes, ma'am. No, I talk about that as well, the vaccinations. I mean, you're talking about a brand new baby who is pure blood, clean blood, who is just entering the world, and they want to inject a foreign substance into that baby. Just think about that. They have not done any type of testing to see if there'll be some type of adverse effect on the baby, but instantly they want to inject our babies. And so, no, we're taught that the immunization and the vaccination that our babies need, they get it from the mother in the form of what's called colostrum coming out of her breast. She produces colostrum for the first 2 to 4 days before her actual milk comes in.
Yeah.
And is so full of antibodies and so many powerful properties for the baby. If the baby receives that is the baby's protection against illness and disease. So we don't know what this enemy has in those vials and whatnot. So if they can't prove to us, and they can't and they won't, what's in there and that it's safe, then we have to make sure that we deny vaccinations, and we don't give our babies any vaccinations.
Right.
So we have to be careful with that. The minister said we have to stop continuing to allow our enemy, which is who he is, to vaccinate us and our children.
Yeah.
As he just said, our disobedience to a man of God in an hour like this could cost us our life and the life of our children.
Yeah. And I just posted Vax from cover up to catastrophe. Student Minister Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad, formerly Brother Tony, who is our student minister, student Western Region minister here, has been on a tour about that, and to see the numbers of believers that come out, like those of us who are under the voice of the minister, come out, and then women share how medical officials and nurses make them feel guilty that if they did not do these things, and then after just the whole thing that they felt is something. Let's give away the books and then continue on.
Ma'am.
Okay, so Sister Fudia has 2 books. We're going to show you. I'm sorry, 2 books. I sent 2 pictures, but let's show you the cover of the book now, and the questions are, Sister Fudia, you can go ahead and do that. I want to let you give your books away.
Ma'am.
Thank you for blessing us.
I tried to be real careful not to give away this first answer.
Okay.
But the very first question, whoever answers correct, whoever pops up correctly, Sister Charlene will verify later.
Yes.
Very first question is, in what year did the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan deliver the 5-part lecture series, How to Give Birth to a God? What year was that?
That's the question. Put it in the timeline. I would give we're not going to take the calls. We're just going to keep it online. So that's the first question. So we'll see what happens. But let's continue with the discussion until they start putting the answer.
Yes, ma'am. Everybody's going to look at them.
Right. And look, and I'm monitoring the screen. So everybody forgive me. I'm looking up, I'm looking down. This is my teleprompter, right? So let's see who knows that answer. And of course, we know that it pushes down in the thread. But as we wait for that answer, we can continue. Do you want to give them both, or just wait and then see?
It's completely up to you.
Let's do them both so we can continue with the dialogue. And as they answer, we'll marinate, or we'll tell people at the end of the show. But what's the second question?
So the second question is part 5. Remember, there are 5 parts in How to Give Birth to a God.
Right.
Did the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in what city did the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan deliver part 5 of How to Give Birth to a God?
Ooh-wee. In what city did the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan deliver part 5 of How to Give Birth to a God? 2 people, 2 lucky viewers, fortunate viewers could take home, right? Receive one of these great books.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Let's talk about the tour as we wait, and I'll post the questions in case somebody's driving or they missed it. But how is your tour going, and where is your next stop?
Oh, praise be to Allah. Sister, I have been so overwhelmed by the love and the support that we've received on this tour.
Wonderful.
Southwest Region tour, and I have to thank Student Minister Abdul Halim Muhammad, because he gave us the green light to be able to do this tour. And we have 17 stops scheduled. We've done 6 so far. We just were in Shreveport this past weekend, and that was just wow. That was really a beautiful, beautiful time we had with the believers there. Really, every stop has brought something wonderful to this discussion. And so next, we're in a couple of weeks, we'll be in Little Rock and Pine Bluff. We'll be in Pine Bluff on day, I don't want to mess up the day. It's like the 21st, something like that.
It's okay.
And then we'll be in Little Rock on that Sunday. So we'll be there. And so we still have yet to do. We've done so far. We've gone to Houston. We've gone to Waxahachie, Texas, Killeen, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, and then Shreveport. We just finished up Shreveport, and I know I'm missing something. I'm sorry. Houston. Did I say Houston?
You did. That's right. But you know what? How to
yes,
give, but givebirthtoaGod.com.
Yes, ma'am. And you can click on book tour, and it has the cities that have been scheduled. We've scheduled through September, I believe. And I
Okay.
believe every city in the Southwest region we've secured. There may be one or two we still have to schedule.
Okay.
We're able to make all of those stops. Really looking forward to it. It's really been wonderful, and we've been well received. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to share this aspect of the teachings.
Yeah.
You know, the beautiful thing about the Nation of Islam is we're not a religion in that sense. We're taught a complete way of life.
That's right.
And so, you know, the honorable, we're taught, you know, how to eat to live, and we're taught, you know, how to dress, and how to rear our children, and how to take care of our husbands, and all of those wonderful training units. But there really is not one aspect of life
That's
that
right.
you can think of that is not addressed in the Nation of Islam. So I'm just so happy that this particular aspect of rearing our children, how to rear our children, how to give birth to a God, that I have an opportunity just to highlight aspect as well, and to start bringing a little more focus and attention to that aspect, which is one of our 7 training units.
That's right. You're doing so well with that. And you are absolutely right. That's why we are a nation. Islam is a way of life. This is how the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his delegation could go to Mecca and be received and be, you know, it's not like teaching and training something different. It's universal. Oh my God, that was so true what you said. Look, so they're giving now. I'm going to say names, but I'm not saying that you are the winner of the book, because I have to go and look at it. Facebook, I only can see 5, right? So I have to go, in fairness, and look and see who was the first responder, so to speak. But Sister Donna said 1987. Sister Aisha Muhammad said Memphis. Sister Alvanice, I think, also said 1987. I don't know what's under those 3 posts, so we will find that out. But are those the correct ones?
1987 is correct, but the city, I have not heard the correct city. It was not Memphis.
It was not Memphis. Sorry, Sister Aisha Muhammad. It was not Memphis. So go check it out, because you all have the 2. It's not on the spot, but maybe someone did put it there. So we can't say it, right? We cannot say it. But so I'm glad to hear that the tour is going well. You know, are you hearing from our people who are not, quote unquote, within the Nation of Islam, and how what are some of the challenges that they're needing help with, if so?
Yes, ma'am. You know, sister, that's the beautiful thing about the teachings, because I see people have never heard this aspect of the teachings, who are guests or visitors who come out, but also some of our younger brothers and sisters who are in the mosque, who may just not have taken there's so much to listen to from the minister, but may not have heard how to give birth to a God. And I can see in their, I mean, it is a beautiful reaction, because they're wow. And it's exactly how I felt when I first heard this aspect of the teachings, because you're hearing things that it's just not being taught. It's not being taught anywhere. There's nowhere you can get information like this except for under the umbrella of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and under the voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so the response has been wonderful. Just in Shreveport, a sister came up to me, and I didn't even realize when she was sitting that she was expecting at the time. It was very emotional, and she came up to me when she came to get a book. And that's when I noticed her stomach, and I said, wow. And so I was able to talk with her, but there are so many people who this is just an area, you know, we're so comfortable, or not comfortable, but we're just so used to our open enemy telling us what to do, how to do it, and just following his way, and thinking that is the only way. And we don't even realize that this experience of pregnancy and childbirth and child rearing, there's a real science to it, and we can be more successful in the product that we produce our children if we had a little more guidance and instruction. And so that is the biggest blessing, is to see young people and new people to these teachings just to see their eyes, literally their mouths drop when they hear some of the aspects of this beautiful teaching.
Wow, praise be to Allah. You see the impact, and it's what we're saying, get out of the mosque, right? Our work is in the streets. Our work is in the streets. And again, we cannot hold, it's criminal to hold what we have been given. These are life-saving teachings. And as we know, you don't have to, and we know that people won't necessarily do this the way we've done this. They might not necessarily walk through a mosque, although the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at Savior's Day has asked and invited, and he instructed, actually, he said, I want you to go to a mosque or study group. But, you know, join, listen.
That's right.
Take the teachings.
Right. And, there are things in this book, and everyone is not going to do everything. And the minister has said, none of us, there is no parents that haven't made mistakes. None of us are perfect. But the idea is to at least know what we should be striving towards. And so we try to reach the highest level that we can. But certain things, but we want to make sure that we make all of the information available, so people they'll take what they feel like they can do, and then they may leave something else. But the idea is to provide the information for the people so they can make some of these decisions on their own. It's like the immunization discussion. They never present the other side at all. So people are really forced to make a decision to vaccinate because they haven't heard the real concerns and the real problems with vaccination. Yeah,
that's right. And not to mention that this is a spider's web, right? So you will have a parent or a family that needs social services that is told you can't receive it unless your child is vaccinated. They need to be educated, because while we know that we need schools and we are working on those things, we don't have Muhammad University of Islam's that are at the capacity for all of our children who are in the public school, which is why we still work to make sure that school is equitable and just and fair. But in order to go to school, then the child needs to be vaccinated. There's a lot of different things that are taking place. And so, yes, maybe a person will pick up How to Eat to Live, and before you know it, they're experiencing a benefit there that gets them to a mindset where they can receive how to give birth to God. But at the end of the day, there's something here for you. Islam, as our beautiful sister Nisa Islam Muhammad says, Islam is not the problem. Islam is the solution, or is the answer.
That's right.
Now, Sister Fudia, we gotta solve a problem here. So Sister Shauna Joy is just like the student, the hostess with the mostest, as they used to say. She got it right online. Sister Donna and Alvanice, thank you. They're telling me she got the year right. Chicago, she said the city. Well, wait a minute. She said the city was Chicago.
So the question is, where did he do part 5?
Part 5. Okay.
1 through 4 in Chicago at the Final Call Administration. Part 5.
Got it. So Chicago, nope, we still have a city question now, but she got the year correct. So Shauna Joy was the first. So Shauna Joy, congratulations. You have won. You have won the book, Children of the Most High, Giving Birth to a God and the Science of Child Rearing. That part 5 question is still out there, everyone. You could win it. So you don't have to, if you don't have it now, as long as you can get it today, because we're going to give Sister Fudia the information so that she can ship the books out. Yes, Shauna Joy, all praise is due to Allah, so that she can ship the book out. But what's the city for part 5, everyone? What is the city for part 5? So let's see, Sister Donna. Let's see, one more comment before Sister. I'm sorry. They're gonna beat me up. Sister Donna said Austin.
It was absolutely not Austin. Oh, man. The minister has been to Austin in the 90s, but no, ma'am, it wasn't Austin, Texas.
Sorry, Donna. Sister Fudia, we're having too much fun. Sorry, Sister Donna. Sister, let's have about 30 seconds closing remarks, and then we'll get that answer. But Sister Shauna won 1 book. There's still 1 book out, and I want to make some announcements. So, yeah, what are your closing remarks? And you got to come back. We didn't even touch the surface.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you again. Thank you again for the opportunity. I just want to say, brothers and sisters, thank you so much, Sister Charlene, first of all, for your platform.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes, ma'am.
For
And
real.
I just want to say to everyone that remember that this book is something that you won't see out there. There are a lot of child rearing books. You can see there are thousands of child rearing books based on the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So what you're going to find in this book is quote after quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You're going to see quote after quote from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Holy Quran, the scripture, the Bible as well. You're going to see our lessons in there. You're going to see some of our premier students in the ministry, Student Minister Ava, Brother Nuri, is quoted, Brother Jabril, so many. So what I want to impart that is, of course, we have to make sure that we, everything in the teachings, we can back it up with science, with scripture, with nature.
Right.
So that is what I try to do. So this is not a book about me. This is, I did my very best to make sure that this book reflected the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And any references that I make to people who have done some research or whatnot, I tried to make sure that that bore witness to what we're taught in the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So thank you so much, Sister Charlene. It's been wonderful. And I look forward to being back with you.
Thank you so much as well. Thank you, Sister Fudia, for blessing us, and may Allah continue to bless you.
Thank you, sister. May Allah bless you as well. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Her website is givebirthtoagod.com. You all forgive me. I'm having a good time. I'm looking online and the comments are hilarious. But look, remember Final Call. Oh, God. Go to finalcall.com and soak up that cover and the words in between the pages, right? Also, NOI.org for the messages of the student ministers of Minister Farrakhan, as well as his own, like Minister Farrakhan, or follow him on Twitter at Louis Farrakhan. Also, student minister Abdul Malik Muhammad, his Western Region minister, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. Nationtown TV, thank you so much for broadcasting every Sunday from Nationtown TV on Facebook. You can hear Minister Abdul Malik. Also, hear Liberated Sisters this Friday, 8 a.m. on Radio Justice at radiojustice.org. This Saturday, I'm back at KPFK on Saturday, 90.7 FM. I was every other Saturday, but right now I'm in a every Saturday position. That's kpfk.org. And you can go to the archives. We had a great show with Brother Delzino Wilson Debriano of the Tag Team Marketing. He's the president and also founder of the Buy Black movement. And so that was a great interview we had there. And especially all of you business owners, but also we're buying black. So you can go to archives and see that. That was on last Saturday. That's archives at KPFK. And I would like to say thank you, Sister Fudia, Brother Jesse, Sister Felicia, the Poetess Morris, owner right here of this great studios, and engineer. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad saying if it's impacting our community or can uplift us as a people, let's talk about it. Peace.